folks. One of the Redneck Country Podcast. You are on with Real Redneck Todd Millard. And, of course, we've got the almost guy, Real Redneck Bill. Tom Bill, are you there?
I'm here, and as always, it's a beautiful night for a podcast.
Beautiful night for a podcast. Not too hot, not too cool, just about right.
Yeah. What are you, like, Goldilocks?
I was about to break it on down. I stepped outside, and it was just right.
Oh, you do that way too well.
I got kids. I read books. Oh, man. And, of course, sitting beside me is the patriarch of Redneck Country, my father, Real Redneck Todd Millard. Dad, is your mic hot?
Certainly is. Beautiful night for a podcast. Had a pleasant walk over. Really enjoyed it.
Had a pleasant walk over.
It is one of those nights that I kind of worry. It's hot, and I don't want anybody of age being too hot or too cold. So I hope that your son got you a real nice cold beverage.
Actually,
and took care of you.
You just called him old. I love it.
Yeah. I am old. I admit it. I agree.
Somebody
100%.
of age.
And I had it's a little cooler today, so it was a pleasant walk. But I'm sitting here with my cup of tea and the podcast mug. It's awesome.
Good grief.
I like the way you roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Todd, are you indulging in a Monster Energy drink tonight, or are we just going to go?
You know what? I still haven't drank that thing.
Good. Well, I figured you would, because last week you were on vacation, weren't you?
I was. I forgot all about it.
I figured that was perfect opportunity for you to bust that out while you were in a controlled environment with your family.
Responsibilities and in a controlled environment where I can't be fired.
That's right.
And the irony of it, it was the best vacation I ever had.
It was. Did you go with him?
Todd was out of town.
Yeah. So it's a vacation for you too.
Oh, yes, certainly was.
Todd's out of town.
Yes. No, I am sitting here with my tall glass of ice water, and I happen to be eating peanuts. That one's bad, but I happen to be eating shelled peanuts. So if you hear, just like sitting around a campfire, if you hear some cracking and munching, mind your business.
But when I crack or munch, he smacks me and tells me to turn away from the mic. Yeah,
there's a double standard all the way down the road.
I guess I just got to give a disclaimer. If
I'm
you hear
not
me sipping or
smacking my
slurping,
lips and my.
If you hear me slipping or slurping, I am enjoying my tea. See, look at this.
Just straight around the campfire, enjoying it.
You don't hear me ever take a drink. You don't hear me ever munching on what I'm munching on.
I can now because I gave a disclaimer, just like
That's
you.
it. You get it.
You can all you want, because I can hit that edit button when we're all done.
Oh, crap.
That's good. You enjoyed your vacation, though.
I did.
Yeah, I did. Really want.
I can mute his mic. I get to hit him tonight.
Oh,
no, I did. It was a good vacay.
Todd, sorry.
It was awesome. We started on Thursday. We stayed around home. I went fishing, got the kayak in the water with my brother-in-law, and then went fishing again on Saturday morning. So Thursday, Saturday, and then Sunday, we went camping, took the trailer, and I took my kayak, and I went fishing again on Monday and Tuesday.
I think I saw some pictures there of you and the old friends there rolling around the pond.
And that was this last Saturday. Well. Yes, it was.
That was the last Saturday?
Yeah, it was. It was kind of planned. You were going to come down.
I was.
So yeah, we had it kind of planned that you were going to be there too, and I mean you had much more important responsibilities. So I'm not chirping you there. I get that, but yeah, it was. We've had them on the podcast before. My old buddies Pete and Kevin, and from oh my gosh, I want to say I started fishing with them 20 plus years ago. Anyway, maybe more. And we've always been small pond bass fishermen. And so we had some gravel pits by my place that Kevin actually was the one that, and he doesn't even live here. He lives half an hour, 45 minutes in another town. And he's like, you've never fished this place, so I'm going to take you. So he was the first one to take me. And my buddy Pete, and we went, and oh my gosh, I had no idea. These 3 gravel pits right by my house were right full. And I mean, you would catch, I bet you, 20 largemouth in a half an hour. And I'm not exaggerating. And of those 20, there's a whack load of little guys, but you were guaranteed to catch a 5+ pounder. And the largest I think we pulled out of there was 8 point something. And I mean, oh my goodness, man.
This weekend past?
No. That was the ponds that when I started fishing with them. It's literally 5 minutes from my house. So we used to go down, and my buddy Petey lived here. We would, as soon as it started to rain, we got so bored with catching fish in that pond because I mean, it was so easy. You got bored with it. So it was like, okay, thunderstorm. Pete, it's raining. Are we going? Yeah, let's go while it's raining. And we'd break out the top water and have like little mini tournaments because just normal fishing with tube jigs, I mean, it got boring. But with top water, got a little more exciting. So that was the beginning of it. And we've got stories upon stories. You'll see they make fun of me about walking on water and everything else. I one time, if you listen to that podcast, I don't know if they've shared it in full. I wasn't giving it up, but I'm a lighter dude. I looked at this. It looked like a little bit of mud. I thought I could walk across that. They don't let me forget. I went all the way up to my chest, and it was not mud. Apparently there is many geese living there, and I actually drove home naked. It smelled so bad. But they now every chance they get, they bring that up. But we met again. So this last Saturday, it was like it's been a long time. All three of us have lived a life. Thus far, it's been a fairly long time. So we got to get back together. We went to a place that Kevin, again, introduced us. Just after those ponds, he introduced us to this other place that we call Bastopia. And it is just phenomenal. I mean, it's 13 feet of water, 15 feet of water in spots, but you only got about 2 feet of bank where it's 2 feet and then it drops straight down.
That's perfect.
And I mean, me and Kevin went last Saturday before we went camping. And Kevin caught 33, and I think I caught 17 largemouth in 3 hours. And so Kevin was disappointed because opening day he caught something like 70 something fish.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, like insanity. Like the place is just phenomenal. It's landlocked in there. You got to know how to get in, and it's straight ravines down. Like you can't walk it and fish it. So he takes a canoe, I take a kayak, I take the battleship. So then this last Saturday we got Petey back, and my brother-in-law. I said to my brother-in-law, "I'll take you to a spot. You wait." He's got some smallies logged in the tournament. He needed some largemouth, so I said, "I will take you. Don't you worry. We'll get you some largemouth." And so we said it that we were going Saturday, and so we met, and Petey went on the battleship with me, and Kevin had his canoe, and my brother-in-law Connor had his kayak, and away we went. And it was just like we never quit fishing for a while. So it was absolutely awesome. Oh, he loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, like he's talking about buying one. Yeah, he was really impressed.
No issues. Nobody fell in the water.
You know what? So he's a bit bigger of a dude. And I'm not sure what he was saying, like 230 or so. And I made the mistake of I put him in the front with the motor and the battery and his pack. And then he was up in the front seat and I was in the back. And it's modular, right? Like on tracks. And I was in the back with our tackle pack and our fishing poles. And there's what they call scupper holes in the kayak. And the theory is like I'm out on the lake and you're hitting whitecaps crap. Water's coming over the front. It comes in over the front, runs down the channel, and then drops back through the scupper hole into the back of the lake. So yes, water comes over the side of the kayak. Whoop-de-doo. The thing's buoyant as heck. And it's not deep enough that you could fill it with water and sink it. Right? It's made to, even if it filled with water, it holds, it's going to float and it's going to balance itself out. And it actually becomes more stable. So with that much weight, I didn't plug the scupper hole, which probably was a good thing in retrospect, but we did have about 1.5 inches of water on our feet the whole time. So just because of him being in the front and the scupper holes being in the back, and that kayak's got to sit just on a slight angle so the water runs down and out the holes. And it was sitting on the other wrong angle.
These are the strategic things you'll learn after. Yeah.
But I mean, it was still all good. He put his feet up. I mean, he didn't have to have them down underneath the seat. So he was good. He was comfy. I had my aqua shoes on, so I was all right. So I gave him the control because I didn't want the responsibility of not putting us in the right spots and anybody having excuses for catching fish. So I gave him the fish on
you put your waypoints in with all the secret spots that he took you to on that.
Oh, I mean, it's a little pond. I say pond, it's weird because it's like fingers. There's like 4 legs. Like it's so bizarre because it's only, I don't even know. I guess it'd be 80 yards wide. In some spots, maybe a bit more, and in others, maybe a bit less. And so maybe not even, maybe 50 yards wide for the majority of it, maybe 80 yards at the most in spots. And so it's not huge, like width wise, but it goes forever. It's almost like you'd think you're in a river of unrunning water, like because it's a pond kind of thing, but it's huge.
Spring fed, I imagine. Eh?
Yeah, it's got to be. Yep, and it's been there forever. I mean, but it is huge. We were there for 4 hours Saturday morning. I think we fished maybe 5 hours, and we still didn't cover one of the legs. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's just.
Well, it gives you something
massive.
to go back to then.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, there's always fish there. It's just awesome. So no, it was a good time, but there was, honestly, we caught fish. We caught bigger fish this time too. I was impressed. And
so you measured something into the tournament?
I absolutely did. I got one put in. Yep. So bumped out. So I got 3 largies. I need 2 smallmouth now for this because it's a full house tournament. So, I did, but.
I was looking at the fishing tournaments for the CSFL, which is the Canadian Sports Fishing League. Anyways, they go all over Ontario, and they got the big bass boats and stuff like that. And the last tournament they had was most recent one was on Lake Simcoe.
They just had
last weekend.
Yeah. I had an old school buddy of mine was in it. I seen pictures of Facebook.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I was looking at that, and I'm just thinking.
In 8th, I think, with his wife. 8th or 12th.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it really is. Because there was a field of 70 plus or something like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, Bob Azumi was there. I mean, a bunch of the old fishermen and stuff. Yeah, it's Wayne. I think Wayne Azumi, or whatever, was fishing with him. But I looked at the weights, and I went on to Lake Simcoe there for the first time, and I'm still learning the lake, and I didn't catch a thing. I've done well in Lake Simcoe before, but these guys weighed in 5 fish, and the winning weight on Saturday was 28.8 something pounds.
For five fish.
For 5 fish.
So do the math on that, right? So 5 times 5 is 25. So all those fish, on average, got to be over 5 pounders. My gosh, that's big fish.
It's what I'm thinking too. And Lake Simcoe is a great body of water, and they've talked about this for years that it's cleaning up, and the gobies in there are making excellent bait for the smallies.
The smallies are just getting monstrous, right? They're saying the same thing on the St. Lawrence.
When you're talking about 8-pound fish, it's nothing to have 6 to 8 pound fish, smallies coming out of Lake Simcoe, and it's so close to my 20 minutes I'm on the water. I got to learn that lake and report back some stories. But the 28 pounds worth of fish is just, it's beyond me to think that's possible with a 5 pound limit. When we were fishing, and back in the day, 5 at 5 was kind of, that was the standard, right? You catch five fish at 5 pounds, you're in the money for bass fishing tournaments.
Yeah. I was watching a tournament on the St. Lawrence, and I think it was the MLF comes up there, right, from the U.S. side.
Yeah.
And they were saying that 2 years ago, the average smallmouth was something like 4 pounds. And they said now, in 2 years, because Lake Ontario feeding up into that, and all the gobies, the zebra mussels, cleaned up the water, and then all the gobies moved in, and the smallies are chewing on them. They said the average smallmouth now, when they go to the tournaments and they're weighing them in or whatever they got to do, they're something like on average they're 5 to 6 pounds now.
That's crazy.
Which that's insane. That's average. So that there's going to be some big football 8-pounders in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where, I got to learn the lake. I got to get on it a little bit earlier in the day, and I ended up buying another fish finder too.
You did not. You didn't consult me, Bill.
I bought a second fish finder.
For what?
I needed one for the front of the boat. So and my boat's not that big. It's a 16-foot aluminum fishing boat that I've decked out. I've talked about it on a previous podcast. And I bought the Humminbird Helix 5 with the down imaging, the Navitronics map system, which is perfect for a console type fish finder. But when I'm running the trolling motor up front, I was constantly asking Hunter, my son, hey, what depth are we? Hey, what do you see? Hey,
you know what? That is so important. I didn't think I'd want a fish finder on the kayak. I couldn't fish without it now.
Well, I know. And to me, it was more so I wanted to know depth, right? If I'm fishing on a point or I see a rock shoal come out and I want to know where it drops off. I want to know where the side of it is. I want to know how far it goes. And if I got the transducer that goes on the bottom of my trolling motor, and the mount, which is coming tomorrow for the front of the boat. So I've got down imaging and 2D sonar on the Humminbird Helix unit. And that's all that's going to be up front of the boat. So I can at least now see what's under and on the
look at you
close. So there'll be no excuses why the almost guy can't catch fish.
Tell you what, we got to enter the tournament.
Well, yeah, with my 20 horsepower motor, we ain't going far fast.
Hey, who cares? Let them guys go. It's how you wiggle the worm, Bill.
That's exactly what it is. And with the amount of electronics on this boat, we've got a chance.
That's what I'm saying. We're in. I'll make the jerseys.
That's it. We're in there. I got to get you up here, though. Honestly, one day, I don't care if we go up to Upper Big Shooter, just somewhere we can get out on the boat.
I agree.
And get you in the water and do some fishing on this thing.
I agree. I'm in. Because, I will tell you, the fish find, I'm like, I don't need a fish find. I have said before, I don't like trail cameras in certain spots where I hunt deer because then now what's there. Now you're disgruntled because I'm not going to go hunt that stand. There's no deer there or there's no big buck there because he's not on my camera. When there really could be. He just avoids your camera. Or you've got one on there and then you become obsessed. And I don't want, okay, and fishing now I got to do that. Now I don't want to know there's no fish below me. Because then I'm not going to stop and fish. But there could be a fish there, right? Or there could be one swimming by. So I'm like, I don't want one. But I'll tell you what. When I was camping, I knew the body of water that I was camping on had pickerel in it. And I didn't care. I want smallmouth. I need 2 smallmouth for this tournament. So I'm out there in my kayak, and I went on my own on the first day, on the Monday, and I trolled for about 4 hours. Trolled. I used the trolling motor, but I was casting along shore the whole way. And I mean, the body of water, same thing. It was probably 2 feet of water, and then it dropped right down to 9 feet and then dropped again down to 18 feet. And I'm like, the thing's got smallmouth in it. That's where they're going to be. They're going to be on those shoals on that drop. So I'm throwing a wacky worm, and I did the whole edge of, not the whole edge, because I mean, it's a big size body of water, but I did 4 hours of the edge all the way around. And I caught one freaking smallmouth, one fish, one bass. And I didn't go out until like 1:30 in the afternoon, because we got there the day before, set the trailer up, and then I wake up in the morning, you have breakfast, chilling with the family. So then I loaded the kayak, I went down, I docked it, and away I went. And so I didn't get out till 1:30 or so. And I told the fam I'd be back for supper at 6. So when it's like 6, I'm like, oh crap, I'm at the back of this body of water. I got to get all the way back up to the front. I got like a 20-minute trolling motor ride here to get back to the front. So I sat back in my chair. I pinned the motor guide wireless on speed 21. Boom, and I'm firing across the middle of this lake. And I'm watching my fish finder. And as I'm going, I'm in 18 foot of water. Just solid, 18 feet. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, I'm at 8 feet. And then boom, I'm back down to 18.
What?
And I'm like,
you got to stop and fish that.
Hit the brakes. I spin back around and I couldn't find it on one. I come back around. Oh, there it is. So I go just past it really slow. Well, I realize it's only probably a 20-yard long little, I don't know what you want to call it, ledge that comes up there and drops right back down like a point. And so I'm like, well, all right. So I was drifting. The current was going back against me. So I had my wacky worm on and I'm thinking again, smallmouth. There's going to be a smallmouth on the backside of this drop off. So I throw in and it's almost now like I'm drop shotting and I'm drifting over this thing and I'm popping that worm and all of a sudden, wham, yes, sir. And I reel in and it's a freaking pickerel. Sorry, a walleye.
No, you're right. You were absolutely right.
Yeah, whoops, I forgot what stance I took. So
yeah.
So I'm like, wow, but it was only a little guy. It was probably only 10 inches long. So I'm like, that's pretty cool. I throw it back. I fire up the trolling motor, come back around the other side of it again, do the same thing, only this time, wham, a 16-inch walleye hits me. Well, now we're into some eating foods here. Yeah. I can't enter that in the tournament, but this might taste good. Now, Dad, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember, but I'm certain I have never caught a pickerel myself. I mean, I went with you fishing pickerel down in the Thames, and we've gone like jigging on opening day. But I don't think I ever caught one.
I don't remember whether you did or you didn't. I don't know.
I know you have. I've gone with my brother-in-law midnight, opening day. So you're there before midnight. As soon as midnight, lines in the water. We got a fire going beside the river, and I've got the same jig on he's got. I'm watching his hands. I'm doing the exact same motion. Turd catches 4 in a row. I don't catch one. I go out with Nick. Everybody, Scotty is pounding them and throwing them in the boat. I don't catch one. I'm like, I've had enough of pickerel. We went up north. When I proposed to my wife, we went to my brother-in-law's cottage way up north, and this lake full of pickerel. We're gonna catch supper. So before the first day, we get out on the boat. My brother-in-law, my sister, me, and my now wife. And so in this, I don't even know. I think it was only a 12-foot aluminum. Might have been 14, but I don't think so. I mean, we were tight. And it's this little lake way up north in a cottage. And so away we go. And so we're trolling worm harnesses. And my wife, Jen, pickerel, boom. Me, garpike, throw it back. Rick, boom, pickerel. Me, largemouth bass, throw it back. My sister, boom, pickerel. Me, bass, throw it back. I'm getting irritated. Now, screw it. I throw on a minnow. Now I'm just fishing for bass. I had enough. So now, sidestep on that story. So while we're fishing there, I'm casting as they're trolling really, really slow. I'm casting way up into the weeds, actually fishing for bass because I had enough of this pickerel bull crap because nothing's touching my line. I actually, believe it or not, I couldn't believe I did it. I pull back and throw out. I take Rick, my brother-in-law, who's at the back of the boat running the motor. I take his hat clean off and into the drink. With my hook. I couldn't have done it again if I tried. A couple casts later, I lodge a treble hook in my wife's head. And luckily she had a ponytail, but it went through the ponytail and just caught her scalp just a bit, that it drew just a bit of blood. Whoa, was she irritated, Bill? No. She was not happy.
I can't imagine how she would not take that as a...
So at that moment, my brother-in-law was the only one that knew I was going to propose and I had a ring. I looked down at Rick and I'm like, I'm nodding my head. Take me back to that. There's only one way I'm getting out of this situation. So he takes me back to the cottage. My sister's like, I'm done fishing. Nope. And he pulls out before she can get out of the boat. And she's like, I don't want to go. I'm done fishing too. Because we wouldn't tell her because she can't keep a secret to save her life. So he pulls her back out. So I proposed to Jen. Let me tell you, it didn't matter what I did. I could have put 6 treble hooks in her head after proposing. Dude, you are golden.
I would think that might have been your limit, though. You couldn't have got away with 5.
I don't know. I almost flipped her off of a 4-wheeler after that. She was grinning, looking at her hand, and we're going up a hill. And no lie, my brother-in-law's beside us. I hit the throttle. The front end starts to come up, and he's like, I'll walk beside you till you get off this hill and get up in front of the cottage because there's a slope down to the water. And we went 2 wheels. But I tell you what, it didn't matter.
I think it would matter today because she's up there yelling, I wouldn't go that far. So I think it would matter today.
Oh, dude, I tell you what, anybody listening, if you do something really stupid, just propose. It works. Trust me.
It works.
It works.
Yeah, but you can only propose once.
Oh, it's the 2000s, Dad. Let's do, I mean, really? But yeah, no. So anyway, so I digress. So I never caught that. Could have been, and I believe it was, my very first pickerel.
So did you keep any of these?
The first one I let go, a little 10-incher. The second one, the 16-incher. Now, what's the slot limit in this lake? I don't know. I was fishing for bass. I didn't even care about pickerel. Now I'm on the horn. Jen had my daughter, Megan. Megan's calling me. Are you coming back? Yeah. Google for me. I need you to Google slot size this lake. He's flipping around in the bottom of the boat. You gotta hurry up. I'm Googling, she's Googling. Come to find out you can keep 4, which is my sport fishing license. I know that. Yeah. So, but only one can be over 18.1 inches. So I'm golden. So knock him on the head. I'm coming in. So I go in, we clean them up, went back out. My brother-in-law comes the next day because he wants to catch some bass. And so Again, we went all the way around the other side this time trying to catch bass. Nothing. But this time I was smart. I got worms and a worm harness. And I'm trolling with because I got the trolling motor. He's paddling and he's fishing. I'm trolling behind him really slow, just staying behind him. And I'm nailing little pickerel all along the edge of the bank. And then finally, after 3 hours that he got fed up, said, let's go in for lunch. We'll come back out, screw all this. We'll get you a worm heart. We're going for pickerel because I've had enough of trying to fish for bass. And let me tell you, he went and anchored on that shoal, on that 8-foot spot, and was ripping crankbaits and caught a couple. Nothing sizable to keep. I was trolling, and I knew where that shoal was because he's anchored on it. I just threw out a whack load of line and trolled back and forth. And there was only twice in a 4-hour stint that I did not catch a pickerel on the troll and past him. As soon as my line went under and my worm harness was under his kayak, bam, you could do it by the watch, clockwork, bam, bam. I caught a 19-inch, which was the one I allowed over my limit. And then I caught some more 16 inchers and kept them. And
that makes for an awesome day when you can get on to either the color, the presentation, the speed of retrieve, whatever it is.
And right, the fish finder. I wouldn't have known. Like I was experimenting. So the little guys were hitting me at 2.8 kilometers an hour. Yeah. I was trolling slow. And I'm like, man, these little guys are driving me nuts. Maybe I got to pick up the speed so that the little guys can't catch it. The bigger guys jump in. I don't know. But I ended up settling about 3.25 kilometers. That was when I started getting them good.
Well, you know what? I'm convinced. I mean, I'm not a professional bass fisherman that fishes tournaments every weekend and stuff, but I'm convinced that the fish finder does nothing more for me as a weekend warrior than give me what you found. An opportunity, a spot that you didn't know was there that you might have not been able to find if you weren't, looking on a topographical map or whatever.
And you'd waste so much time.
Never.
I mean, it's such a big body of water. Like, how do you know? And I said that my buddy lives right there that I went fishing, Petey. And Petey's like, you caught those there? That's right by my place. I've never even fished. They look like really healthy fish. I said, dude, they were super healthy and they tasted like freaking awesome. And he's like, I can't believe those are in that. How did you find them? So I told him the story. I'm like, I can't believe there wasn't 50 boats. I mean, you're catching pickerel like that. You're catching walleye like that. Why aren't you fighting for boats? Go to the Detroit River when the pickerel are on. You could walk from one side to the other across the top of boats.
No, not my ideal. Not my ideal
so
at all.
Why isn't that here? These pickerel, they were hitting everything. You couldn't blink without pulling one in. And that's what he said to me. He's like, dude, you found the spot. Nobody knows. They probably don't think it's that good of a fishery. Like, yeah, they'll catch some, but not that many because you found, and I wouldn't have done it without that little cheap fish finder.
Yeah, I'm just curious. So with your dad not being there, who cleaned your fish?
I did, Bill. I did.
There's more to that story. When you get to me, I'll fill you in.
Oh, good grief!
Yeah. I'd like to hear. I'd like to hear your 2 cents on this, Don.
Okay.
Because I was really concerned when he showed me that fish, and knowing Todd like I do, I didn't figure he'd be able to clean a fish.
Oh, jeez! Here we go.
Well, I
can clean a deer in less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, clean a turkey.
That's a hard pass.
Yeah.
I kid around it being on holidays because Todd was on holidays and he wasn't home. But in reality, I missed the girls. They weren't here.
Oh, see, here it comes.
But I got a lot of reading time, a lot of sitting in my yard. I really enjoyed my yard. The weather was not
so
promising.
busy being retired.
I only had a couple short cruises with the 23 T-bucket because the weather every day threatened rain. And the sun had come out and I think, I'll take it for a run. And all of a sudden it cloud over again and then start to spit rain. So I didn't get a lot of cruising time in, but I joined a couple. But either way, I did a lot of reading. I love to read. And I had a couple of highlights, 2 or 3 highlights. One of them, of course, Wednesday is shooting day. And so Bill and I went early because we usually wait for Todd to get off work. So Bill and I went at 3 o'clock and we each shot 100 targets. And then at 6 o'clock, we got home, I don't know, about 5:30, I guess. Enjoyed fun with the guys at the club. We got home at 6, and then him and his wife, myself and my wife and my sister-in-law, you can have 6 at a table now. So we all went out for supper at Denny's. We had a beautiful...
Outside.
Yeah, outside. We had a nice visit. We had a great evening. It poured rain, but we were right in the middle of a big tent. We were dry. It didn't rain till we were done shooting, so we had a good visit there. And then come like my birthday in May and then Father's Day, both times Todd says, well, I got a gift on order for your birthday, but it isn't in yet. And I got a gift on order for your Father's Day, but it isn't in yet.
Yeah, that's typical.
All this because
Amazon delivers next day. Did you not know that?
Yeah, right. So all this, Bill, because you wanted to hear about the pickerel.
Here we are.
See, I come by it honestly.
Here we are, the second week in July, and they're coming. Your birthday in May and Father's Day, they're coming. They're going to be here. Well, lo and behold, they came in while he was on vacation. So there was really something coming.
Yes. Absolutely. I'll tell you that later.
So Thursday, they get home, and they had to be home in time for their second shots, I think, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so he called me and he says, my wife was out getting groceries, and so he says, well, as soon as Mom gets home, we're all done. We're home here. Come on over because I got your gifts. And the kids and I were waiting to give them to you. So I go over. Okay. So the first, years ago, I don't know how many years ago now, when I first got the 23 tea bucket, I had a caricature airbrushed of me in the tea bucket. And I got that file, and I made a picture, but I got that file from the guy that did it. And then Todd took that file, an actual picture, and he put that on the front of a shirt. Got the actual picture of the tea bucket, put it on the back of the shirt, my name across the back.
A jersey. It's not a shirt.
Well, a jersey, little zipper at the top, and clay crusher on it. And on the back, the real car went around it.
Redneck Country on it.
Yeah, Redneck Country is on it. And bubbles with the motor and me and the bubbles around the car. I mean, it was colorful. It was black, red, orange, white, it was busy. And I wore that to all the car shows. Well, then I lost 93 pounds or 90 pounds, and it's like a. So
now Mom uses it for a throw on the couch.
Like dress, It's like, so I've been after them for, I don't know, a year and a half now. You put in an order, or whatever, redesign it smaller and get me that shirt. So the first thing he gives me is a shirt in a large instead of a 3X. It's in a large, and is it gorgeous? Exact same shirt, only it fits me now.
Bam!
It fits.
So I was so pleased to get that shirt. So then the next box he gives me is a pair of Adidas.
If you're going to be a sneakerhead, you got to say it right.
What did I say?
Adidas.
What is it?
Adidas.
Yeah, well, I read it upside down. I
Serenity now.
Papa, because it was all small letters. So anyway, it was Adidas, whatever. Hot rod running shoes, yellow with black and red trim patterns, design. I mean, these
with red flames
are bright
on the soles. They're called the hot rod. How do you not buy these? They're yellow with red flames. They are his car.
You just lost a sponsorship, though, by not being able to say the name. But other than that, right? I think we're...
Run DMC, I can hear him now. My Adidas.
So Saturday was the last dinner club shoot at Verschoyle, which is our club. And so I put on the hot rod shoes, I put on the hot rod shirt, and I put on my bright yellow clay crusher hat.
He was the sun.
And that's where I went. That's what I wore shooting. I got home and my wife says, did anybody notice your outfit? Yeah, think.
At the trailer park down the road, they were closing their blinds.
Oh, yeah. People were saying, glad I wore my sunglasses. So I got acknowledged, man. It was awesome.
The guys in the stations next to you had to wear their side shields just so they wouldn't see you moving with all that yellow on.
Yeah, if he moved, thank goodness he's 73. He moves too quick. He'd give you a seizure.
Yeah, so that was cool, man. I mean, finally, I got my shirt back and I got these hot rod shoes. So I'm waiting for the next cruise. So anyway, Sunday was another highlight. Because Sunday after church, you can have so many people in your backyard now. And so after church, the family comes, and sometimes Bill and Jane, they come and we have lunch in our yard. So this Sunday, the whole family was coming over, and Todd bought the pickerel. So
bam!
My wife had a tater tot casserole and scalp.
I know where you're going now. full disclaimer. I was camping. I didn't have a fillet knife.
Hold on.
I'll whack you again. I'll whack
This
you.
is a preemptive strike that you're trying to provide. I want to hear the story without.
I didn't have everything I needed. I was out to catch bass. I don't eat bass.
He's coming close to getting whacked, Bill. This is my time, not his.
This was supposed to be about pickerel, not a 40.
It's about pickerel. I'm
Feeling
getting
about
there.
Gilligan's Island.
This was the third highlight of my week.
Just sit right back and he'll
So I
tell
said
you a
to-
tale.
Shut up. So I said to Bill, we got pickerel, Bill. Oh, all right. So I get the batter mixed up and I got the oil warming up in the frying pan.
I know where he's going.
And I says, where's the pickerel? I couldn't find the I put the pickerel right here. What'd you do with the pickerel? The oil's getting hot. I don't know. I moved it here somewhere. So I finally find the pickerel. So I dip the first piece in and I drop it in the oil. And I thought,
you didn't put it in yet, did you?
Yes, I did. Yeah, the first piece, I picked it up and I put it in. It was a nice big fillet. I dipped it in the batter and put it in.
Nice big fillet.
So I grabbed the next one and I went to put it in and here's a whole strip of Y bones and everything in it. So I picked up another strip.
Everything.
And
there was just the Y bone that I was going to take out later.
So I picked up the next strip and here's another strip of Y bones. Why the first one didn't have it, I have no idea. But these two, I said, where's Todd? Todd, I need Todd. Well, he's sitting on the couch in his phone and he can hear me and I can't see his head. It's behind me. And I'm yelling, where's Todd? I need Todd. And they're saying, Todd, your dad wants you. And this grease is bubbling and I'm trying to find a piece with no bones. And I can't find another piece with no bones.
I didn't want to lose any meat and I didn't have a fillet knife.
He says, what? I says, here, take this knife and cut these Y bones out. I got to turn this piece over. It's almost done. So he starts messing around with them. I said,
not messing around. I was precision. I was like a doctor with the proper tools.
I bet you.
I was a friggin' surgeon.
Why can you tell me they had to have the Y bones filleted out before I got that grease hot and everything, the batter all ready to dip? And then he starts yelling at this. I was camping. I didn't have a fillet knife.
Oh, the excuses started coming out now, did they?
They also had to be washed. I dropped a couple in the dirt and I just put them in the bag anyway.
Oh man, how do you go that unprepared?
Yes, I was going to fillet them out all nice and neat later on. Well, you saw me make a batter. You saw me eat the grass. Why were you up here doing it then if that's what you were going to do?
How did you bring them to your dad's house not prepared? Did you come right from the campsite to your dad's or did you go home first?
He was home on Thursday. This is Sunday.
Oh, so you had a Thursday to Saturday. Oh, I understand.
We came home Friday.
He's got no time.
Friday.
Oh, Friday. On Friday, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, and you didn't have your cookout till Sunday.
Either way, we got the bones cleaned out of them, and there was some really nice fillets. And so I got the first piece out, and then I put the rest in one at a time and two at a time, and kind of turned them as I put them in, and
they were good.
Cooked them up.
Even Megan loved them.
Gosh, were they licked up? Bill, Todd, and Megan and I, we cleaned them up. Or they ever good? Like they were really nice.
I think the majority of that comes from how they were cooked
and how the
precision time that you made him take. Not that he took, that you made him take to get all those bones out. Yeah. It's good. Honestly, some kids it takes a little bit longer.
Maybe I want to eat them like ribs.
Did you?
Well, he says, cook them and take the bones. I'm not breaking the batter all off them and trying to find the bones. Come on, get the bones out of there.
No, I did not. Now he's on crack. God. Good Lord. Anyway, this all started, Bill, because you bought a second fish finder. So take me on this journey because did you tell us what model it was?
Yeah, I did. It was a Humminbird Helix 5.
You had the same one?
Down imaging. It's the same one minus the mapping software.
Because you don't need that now.
No, I don't need it. So, yeah, so that's what I got. And, that'll help me catch pickerel that I can take bones out of before I put it in the batter and into the oil. So.
Bite me.
Yeah. But you know what else I did this week?
What else? Yes, let's divert. Please tell me.
Yeah. Well, you guys will get a kick out of this, or you will at least. I got my shooting stuff ready for this weekend.
Oh, yeah. We got the provincials coming up.
Yeah, and every time somebody mentions it, I get the anxiety in my stomach.
See, that's not good. You got to not care. Who cares?
Okay.
I keep telling myself, I don't care if I shoot like 4.
Yeah, there you go.
Every time I think about it, I do care.
Okay, listen to this, Bill.
Where are you going now?
How many months have we been talking about the provincials and you coming down? Several.
Oh, a long time.
Yeah, several, right?
Yeah.
And so I keep saying to him, you got to tell me what shells you need, and you got to make the call.
Oh, good Lord.
Holy cow.
Keeping me again
We
now?
get the shells, and I keep.
What is this, Pick on Todd night?
So finally,
That's the title of this podcast.
Said,
Pick on Todd.
That's enough of this. He keeps saying, yeah, I'll decide what I'm going to shoot, what I'm going to need, and I'll make the call. So finally this morning I said,
I have not said that.
Bill
I just
and I
said
are out
go
of
and get
shells.
what we normally get.
So I called where we go, and they're out of shells.
Not surprised.
So
when you wait till the last minute.
I call other manufacturer, and they're out of shells.
No, they had 6 flats left.
Yeah, but not.
They
what we
had
wanted.
enough. It would work.
They were an awful price. So finally, he gives me.
I said, call this place.
So finally, we found enough shells. They're a little more than we normally pay, but Bill and I are going to make a road trip tomorrow morning and get what we need for the provincials. So they're holding them
For just the two of you, or are you going to help your son out
Oh,
again?
no, I got to get his too.
I was the one that lined them up.
As much. Oh, yeah. He waited till the last minute, and then you're going to take credit for finding shells for the guy?
Hey, I squatted them. I paid for their ATA, their OPTA memberships, got it all done online.
Yeah, and you know when he did that?
I had
Today.
to declare their
And he
categories.
got an email said, if you don't pay this today, you can't shoot.
Oh, that's not true
Yeah,
either.
Today's the last day.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
You can do it right up until the shoot. You ain't shooting till Saturday.
Anyway, we got the email from the APA
goodness
and
gracious.
the OPTA or the.
What have you
APA.
done to him, Bill?
Either way, it was done today.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's good.
we're good.
I mean,
so sorry, Bill, for interrupting.
so we're ready.
Your
No,
story.
it's okay. This is part of the
Sorry,
sitting down having
he's
a having a chat.
apologizing for interrupting your story. What a jerk. You want me to hit him?
No, that's it. No, that's fine.
Never
That's
let you
fine.
get a
He'll
word
have
in
that
edgewise.
I'll see him this weekend. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be good.
So,
In fact, the restrictions are lifted. We're going for a ride in the hot rod.
outstanding. I can't wait.
Are you ready
That's gonna be-
So you're ready to rock. Candace is coming. Is she ready to rock?
Oh yeah, we were actually out in the backyard this weekend, just doing just a little rundown on shouldering the gun and
Is she as anxiety ridden as you?
no, she's like
She don't
whatever.
care.
Well, she's out there to have a good time.
That's right. I don't see
no.
Candace being the same as as technical.
No, I tried to start to explain a few things like.
And she's like, "Don't talk to me. I know how to put a gun up."
Basically, it was more like I'll figure it out. She wasn't rude at all. She listened for sure, but I can see in the back of her mind she's like, "I'll figure it out." When the first round of practice round, I'll figure out where the
She
gun
was
shoots.
entertaining you, was she, Bill?
I highly believe that she was in the entertain Bill mode just so that his anxiety calms down and he can just get this out of his system. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So,
Let him have a say. He'll walk back in the house. Then I can actually do
It'll be all
something.
yeah, that's pretty much. We were in the backyard with snap caps, and I was just going through some, the safety protocol from station to station, and she was asking some, legitimate first-time shooter type questions about, if the guy that shoots first, on station 1
Dad.
is now on station 2, does that person shoot first on the second 5 targets? And she thought maybe the person that was on station 1 shot first all the time. I'm like, no, it moves with the squad leader, which will be your dad. And I said, I don't know where we'll be, but I have trouble counting to 5, meaning that I always lose focus as to when my turn is. So I got to be watching down the line. And anyways, I was going through my anxieties with how the shoots go. And
You're beside me. Maybe I should have switched you and Candace.
so it was, when we shoot, like, is that all out there yet? Like what time?
They released today the times for the first flight.
We can talk about that after. But
yeah. So they released the times for the first flight. Looks like the second flight, you just, whenever the first 100's over, then the second 100 will go.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll be coming down on Friday. Friday afternoon. We'll leave here at about noon or so.
Rock and
I don't know
roll.
what. Yeah. We'll find you guys somewhere, whether it's at the gun club or
I'll probably
at
be
your
at the
place.
gun club still.
Yeah. Well,
because I'm shooting Friday.
Good deal.
If you need supper, look me up. We'll go out for supper.
Sounds good. We'll figure out what time I get there. If I can shoot a practice round Friday, I'd like to, but if I can't, then
they'll have the practice. They'll have the practice running.
Yeah, you can still shoot practice on Saturday, even if you don't Friday.
Yeah, that's good. I definitely need to get out there because I was trying to figure out the last time I pulled the trigger, and not even from an anxiety, I'm worried about shooting whatever, but I haven't pulled the trigger in 2 years.
On a turkey. Just keep thinking of turkey.
Well, yeah, put the bead on and see where it goes. So anyways, we'll come out. Like I said to Candace, we're going to have a great time no matter if I break 10 or 25 straight. And I told my wife, you better bring a hat you don't like, because I promise you will be the first one to break 25 straight out of the two of us, and you will not come back with the same hat. She's like, they shoot your hat? Why did they do that? I said, they haven't shot my hat yet, so don't worry.
You're like, well, I've heard they do.
Yeah, I've heard a rumor that this happens when you actually break 25 straight.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm the almost guy. It doesn't happen. I'm the almost guy. So
yeah, when you hit 25, we'll almost shoot your hat.
That's it. You can throw it up, but I don't even know. I was trying to think, and I said this to my wife. I have never ever in competition shot doubles.
And you're going to shoot doubles with me.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot doubles for the first time this weekend.
That's so awesome.
Like, yeah,
in competition?
Never. I've never even shot doubles for practice. I've shot.
You've never shot American trap?
No, not doubles.
He's never shot doubles. Period.
Are you registered to shoot the doubles?
He's shooting on doubles with me on Sunday.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to.
It sounds awesome in theory until I come up there and I don't know what. I know that you get 2 targets. That's pretty much what I figured. I got to load 2 shells every time. So
all you got to do, Bill, is you're not lead off. So mark that first one and know where it comes out. The second one, you just take your time. Get there to that second one, figure that out, and just pull the trigger when you're ready. That first one, mark it and pound that thing as fast as you can.
This is what I told Candace. I said, from everything I heard from Todd, you don't even hardly see the first one, and the second one, you're tracking it and shooting that one.
Yeah, like you get into a rhythm once you do it so much, right? And it just becomes boom, 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 boom.
I'm looking forward to
doubles. But you're going to be more boom, boom, which is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And the tips, we've had Frank and Emily on before, right? And Frank was the first guy to ever shoot 100 straight doubles in Canada. And when I started shooting doubles, he said to me, you knock that first one out as fast as you can. And it's just a flick of the gun, really. And I even hold my head a little higher on my side. I give the rise to the comb, the way I mount my gun for that first one. And it's just boom. And then because when you first start out, you're a little bit slow, you swing downward and make a loop down and over to the second and come up and hit it coming up on it.
I see. Yeah.
But I'll put you in touch with Frank before, because he explains it better than I.
Oh, I'm sure that'll help my head a lot.
Can't hurt it.
No, you're absolutely right. It can't hurt.
And hey, you might shoot a 25.
Hey, yeah, out of 50.
Out of
50. So I honestly, I am absolutely looking forward to just getting out and getting to a gun club and having some.
You're used to going out and shooting 25 and then shooting another 25. You will be amazed at how fast you shoot 50 targets when you shoot doubles.
Yeah, no doubt.
Those two boxes are gone in an instant. Yeah.
And I actually, I got a brand new shot pouch that my wife made for me that I haven't even shot with. And I was all concerned because I said, it's not, and muscle memory takes me to my pocket, not to the pouch. And she kind of shook her head and said, you don't need to use it if you don't want to. I don't want to be the reason to cause you any more anxiety. I said, no. I'm good.
I think at this point, anything that distracts you is a good thing now. I normally say no distractions. Now, everything. I mean, wear an extra large shirt you're not used to wearing.
That is an awesome wife that thinks of that, Bill. That's an awesome wife that thinks that way.
Yeah. She's right now, she's sitting on the couch. She's sewing her leather work that she's going to put on display for the weekend. Mm-hmm. So
Wicked.
She's anxious to put it. This is her trial piece. She's found a few mistakes that she's made, but I said nobody
else will know them because it's only her.
No. And being the craftsman that she is with the leatherwork stuff, she's taken great pains to make sure this one looks fantastic. And, and she'll get this one done, make her a nice strap and show it to you guys on the weekend. And
whoop, whoop.
Looking forward to it.
I'm excited to see it. Yeah.
Was she planning on taking orders out there?
Maybe. I mean, if there's anybody that's interested, I mean, she's putting it on show to show you guys primarily to see what you think and get your 2 cents on it and see if there's anything that can tweak. And actually what I told her to do is wear it for the weekend, meaning to go to station and seeing if there's anything that doesn't feel right, fit right, comes apart, and then adapt that to the next one. Right. So kind of work the kinks out of the design and shoot it at the same time. So.
Cool.
I think it'll be fun. I have seen pictures of it in production, and I think it's going to be stellar.
Yeah, she's doing a fantastic job. Her fingers will be sore from all the stitching she's doing, but it'll look nice. So,
no doubt.
Anyway, so there we go. That's the week and the lead up to maybe an
in-person podcast. Bill's coming to the studio.
Podcast. Could be a post day one. Sit down for an hour and recap type conversation coming up.
I think it'd be good.
Yeah,
I agree. Heck, we could have a bunch of people.
Candace can come on with her first experience at a trap field.
We could bring Emily and Frank.
Holy cow! We can have a real campfire.
We could have. I tell you, we'll have to take it all outside. The studio won't be a studio now.
I will be getting smacked left, right, and center.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'll run an extra long mic cord, wireless mic.
So, well, as the week progresses, we'll be in touch. I hope you are able to locate the shells. If you can't, I've got maybe a few flats of some of that black goose stuff sitting around here still.
Oh my gosh, Bill, you got gold.
Yeah.
Bill's sitting on black goose.
Oh, I'm not kidding. I'm not bringing it down. That's my reserve.
Oh, if you want to sell it, I know who will buy it.
No, I'll trade you 2 for 1 on Challenger handicap number 8s for a flat.
For a flat of black goose. If you could get Challenger right now, I might have taken you up on that.
Yeah. Well, I've got 8 flats here.
Look at you stockpiling hoarder.
Yeah. I couldn't shoot anywhere. This was all supposed to be gone already with the ATA shoots from last year that I stockpiled it, and I never fired a round out of the book.
Well, I went out and looked, and I think I have 2 flats of Challenger, and I got 2.5 flats of handicap of AA, Winchester AA super handicaps. So I'm okay for that. I'm okay for the handicaps, but I'm going to need some more for the 16s.
I'm shooting the handicap loads at 16 as well. I have it. I'm going to shoot it. It's just,
you mean the Challenger ones, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I'm shooting at 16s too. 3 dram load, 1,200 feet per second.
That's what I'm shooting.
Yeah, I'm shooting 1250s for the caps.
Candace at 7.5, Remington Gun Club. I had a flat of those kicking around from I don't know how long. So I said, hey.
Well, they're 35 years old. They're a little rusted. Candace, you can shoot these.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll go bang. But
heck, you're going to shoot 25 before me.
Yeah. He's got confetti in them.
I found these at the local estate sale. Can you believe the neighbor down there, that 95-year-old guy, was getting rid of these shells?
I don't know why the box looks a little bit waterlogged, but
yeah, they don't go in all the way. Just push them harder. Take a little hammer.
That's it.
Tap them in. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to you guys coming down.
Yeah.
It's looking forward to being there.
It'll be a blast.
Rock and roll. All right. Well, we'll see you this weekend, Bill.
Have a good night.
Yep. Take care.
You too.
And that'll do it for this week, folks. For the Redneck Country Podcast, I'm Bill, the Almost Guy Tom.
And I'm Todd. And thanks for listening. And folks, if you want to be part of the podcast or you want to give us some feedback or really contact us about anything, feel free to email us at podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Again, that's podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Thanks for listening. Talk to you again next week.